Malcolm made his way quickly through the crowd, pushing between groups of traders who were talking loudly about deals involving everything from the price of yen to oil commodities. He wondered as when how many of these men had spent the day buying Pacific Century Cyberworks. From one of his phone conversations with Carney, he knew that Pacific Century Cybers was already up 5%. The numbers would continue in that direction until 1 week from Friday. Then, in the last hour or so, it would be profit taken. Malcolm made it in the last few steps and ended standing right behind the short woman in blue. May caught his eye, looked away, and then looked again, obviously trying to figure out who the hell he was. It had been a long time. After all, Malcolm smiled at him, then stepped forward. The woman in blue was generally about concert she had been to back in the States. Her accent was Thousand, maybe Texas or Louisiana. Malcolm waited her face to finish, then held out his hand. He was moving in hard and fast, not giving his nerves time to slow him down. Vince, great party, loves the eye sculpture. Malcolm looked at him, curiosity in his green eyes. Then a hint of recognition flashed across his features. The woman grabbed Malcolm's hand before Mayer had a chance to respond. Miriam Ruffler, this Miriam with 2 RC. Vince always throws the best parties. He's trying to get away from the whole hard button-down thing. Malcolm didn't think the eye sculpture and big band music much of a departure from a button-down affair, but he kept his opinion to himself. "I'm sorry," May interrupted and shaking Malcolm's hand. "Take a minute there, John Malcolm, right? From Osaka. Are you trading here in Hong Kong now?" Malcolm popped the man's hand. Of course, one of the biggest traders in the city. Mayer knew he wasn't in Hong Kong, but he was probably just being polite. "No, and I'm Tokyo now. I work for Dean Carney." Mayer's hand went limp, and his face seemed so too stiff, and Malcolm had not expected such a reaction. He'd assumed that Mayer would know who Carney was, and that maybe even more before, but he never would have guessed that Mayer with her reaction at the mention of his name. Malcolm instantly wondered if something else was going on here. He'd mentioned to Carney that Mayer was his last research subject, and being last probably one with the deal, but Carney hadn't said anything about past history between them. In fact, it was Carney who told Malcolm about Mayer holiday party and mentioned that it would be a good place to corner the trader. Mayer started and then stopped. He finally wrenched his hand away with Malcolm and patted Miriam Ruffler on her little blue shoulder. "Miriam, I think the statue is melting a bit. Can you find Mr. Chan and see if you can get the cooler turned up a notch?" Miriam threw a final glance at Malcolm, then spiraled away. Malcolm was left alone with the trader. Without warning, May grabbed him roughly by the wrist and led a few feet away from the crowd towards a quiet corner beneath one of the windows. Malcolm looked down at the fingers tight against his skin and felt his muscle begin to contract. May must have felt it too, because it quickly let Malcolm go and look at small step back. "So this is how it's going to work," he spat. Malcolm raised his eyebrows. His cheeks were getting hot. What the fuck was going on? He was flustered by Mayer's reaction. He wanted to press him on the Pacific Century Cyberworks, but Mayer's reaction to him, to Carney, actually was throwing him. "I don't know, what do you mean? I'm here for the party." Yeah, right. I know why you're here, but Carney knows I can't tell you anything. So you can get right back on the fucking plane and go back to Tokyo. Malcolm couldn't believe the visceral rising of Mayer in waves. He knew the Carneys had a reputation, but never seen anyone react this violent. Hell, Mayer had it all wrong. Carney had sent him to Hong Kong. It was his idea. He was chasing down the information on the Pacific Century Cyberworks. Репетитор по скайпу, Smart Teacher 197.